And we're live.
Whoa!
And sound
Oh,
is working.
one of us is alive,
Okay.
and the other
Well,
one's a robot.
depends on your definition of alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not philosophers here, we're game designers, so.
But I thought all replicants were innately philosophers.
No, only Rucker Hauer's
Yeah.
one. Apparently, Rucker Hauer was in was it a Polish game? Some cyberpunk game where, like, he's a detective detecting some things.
Oh, okay.
It's apparently very cool.
Not to be confused with that other cyberpunk game.
Not to be confused with that other cyberpunk game. Like, I can't remember what this one's called, but it's set in Europe somewhere and involves actual detective work and things, and is, I believe, not a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Um, Although if it has first-person shooting elements, I guess that just makes it a video game nowadays. But
Oh, yeah.
back in my day,
Not everything was a first-person
not
shooter.
everything was a first-person shooter, and it was great because I'm terrible at first-person shooters. Give me a third-person shooter any day.
Okay. All right. So we're in it.
How is
Waiting.
everybody in chat? Hello. I'm seeing some names that
I don't recognize those names at
I don't
all.
recognize, but like my brain is telling me, well, maybe you do, and I'm like, I don't know, brain, and my brain's like, well, come on, and I'm like, but brain, like
Clearly,
number, letter, nicknames just kind of all look the same after a while.
clearly you have
A while.
a filthy, clear meat computer brain.
Mm-hmm.
Fallible.
Yeah.
All
Tim is
right.
definitely increasing the chances that I mark him robot now. So let's see. What we're playing today is Inhuman Conditions.
Woo! Specifically the print and play ish version of the game that is available on the website.
Ish. We've had to bodge this a little bit. See, we're still game designers, so we're still like, oh wait, if we put these two parts together, it actually doesn't work. So we need to make a third part and jam that in between the other two, and that should be good.
Yes. Although the updated print and play does appear to have all of those parts. So
Yes, but we're not using that because that would involve creating a new TSIM mod just for this all by ourselves, and we're both too busy.
and or lazy. Take it as you will, chat.
I like to sleep and pet my cats and eat meals. It's me, though. I'm lazy.
I like to continue learning new things to do with the Adobe suite of expensive software.
Oh, you too?
Yes, constantly. That is all my life is.
There's so much to learn. It's so big. There's too much Adobe. Is really the message that I think I want everybody to take home. If you remember nothing else from this live stream, there's just too much Adobe software.
Adobe everywhere. I made this overlay with Adobe in like 5 minutes.
Which rules? It looks so good, by the way. I told you nice and ship it over email, but it looks good. And I'm proud of you. And you have improved our streams quite a bit by improving our... What? Don't sputter. It's true. You were like, we should have timers like the big boys have. We should have this like the thing and the custom overlays every time. And it's not, me holding up a cardboard frame to the camera with the word overlay on it and maybe our logo printed on sticker paper and
admittedly that would have been great, except for at the time your camera would always freeze would inevitably freeze and be only that.
Right. Not so good.
All right. Hey, Jen, what is this game that we're playing? I
We're
ask while
playing.
you're finishing a drink.
It's the best. It's like I'm in a restaurant. This is great. So we are going to be playing Inhuman Conditions, which is a two-player game that is effectively Voight Kampf Test, the board game. So one of us will be taking on the role of an investigator, and the
Ooh.
other one will be taking on the role of a suspect. The investigator will lead the suspect through an interview, trying to determine whether the suspect is a robot
Mhm.
or a human. Uh, by law, the interview can only be 5 minutes long, so we're going to set a timer,
Yeah.
and whoever is the investigator has 5 minutes to ask the questions that they need to ask to figure out if there are any obvious tells on the part of the suspect that mark them as a robot. Weird patterns of how they answer questions or speak, or gaps in their perception that you have to tease out by asking the right questions, um, and that sort of thing. Now, at the end of that 5 minutes, I have one final question if I'm the investigator. And after that, I can mark the suspect as human. At any time during the interview, I can be like, robot, this is a robot. I'm
And then a
talking to a
trap
robot.
door opens up underneath my seat, and I go into decommissioning.
Right. You go into the invasive compliance unit is, I think, what the fiction of the game says. To get probed,
Mm-hmm.
friends. So yeah. Naturally, it's a bad thing for the investigator to mark a human as a robot and send them to the probe camp.
Yeah. Mostly because it just makes the probe camp extra messy because of all that
Uh,
organic matter.
yeah, they're not prepared for that.
I mean,
So
it's
you gotta write a very apologetic letter to the family.
yeah. Oh, you also get branded.
Mm,
You get the red mark of shame.
shame. Hello, Dorito Dragon 25. We're doing pretty good. I told myself that I wasn't going to drink for this game because requires a certain kind of critical thinking. Screw it.
I'm gonna move my monitor closer.
Okay, yeah, I've actually plotted things out so that, like, when I'm the investigator, I'm gonna have my Zoom window over here
Yes.
and all of the stuff over here, so I'm not gonna be looking directly at the camera. I think that'll be really impersonal.
Mm-hmm.
Secretly, 25 Doritos in a dragon costume.
Are you sure it's not the other way around?
Nice. What?
25 dragons in a Dorito costume?
Oh, snap.
Does he know? Do the Doritos and/or dragon know?
Well, we need to create a 5 minute game and a print and play for it so that we can find out. That's a really fun concept, though. Uh,
Should we talk about how robots work?
yes, I was going to
All
get to that,
right.
but you know what? I'm going to let you do it because I've been talking for long enough.
Yeah. Let me grab one of each variety. And where's the violent robot? There's the violent robot. All right. So zoom enhance. As the suspect, I think I'll be the suspect for the first round. As the suspect, I'm going to be dealt one of these inducement cards, which will
It's inducer, but
it's an inducer cards, which will tell me if I am a human, in which case I have nothing to hide. I can play the game as normal, and I do my best to convince the investigator that I am in fact a human, and
by
he
not
should not
acting like a
decommission me.
weirdo.
However, if I am a robot, I'm going to get one of these two cards, and I can either be a patient robot or a violent robot. Let's start with the patient robot. The patient robot is also trying to convince the investigator that the robot is a human and is basically trying to wait out the clock. So I behave and answer questions however I want in an effort to convince them that I'm human. But I have a requirement. So, for instance, if I have this robot, then my programming mandates that I may not mention any people other than strangers or enemies. So if they ask me about my father, that's going to be awkward. Maybe I could get away with it once. If they ask me about my brother or anything like that, then things get a little hazy.
A little dicey, unless they're all your enemies, but that creates a pattern too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if I do, I can elect to go against my programming, but if at the end of 5 minutes, the 5 minute interview, if I have not made amends to my programming, I'm going to have to exhibit facial tics for the final question, which might give myself away. Or I have to behave strangely for the final question because my programming is
obviously
grinding.
Malfunction, yeah.
Yes. And we'll talk about how I can get rid of those when we talk about penalties.
Cool.
And then there's the exciting kind of robot, the violence robot.
This is why I can mark somebody down as robot at any time.
Yes.
As the investigator.
Otherwise, I might just leap across the table and kill the investigator. Mark myself as human, mark my investigator as dead, and then go kill the rest of the investigators I can get to. So as a violent robot, I have obsessions, and I need to fulfill 2 of the 3 obsessions to get through my program, the blocks in my programming, so that I can conduct violence upon the fleshy meat bag sitting across from me. So if I'm this violent robot, then I need to either mention an animal in response to 3 different questions. So I can't say dog, 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 and be done. I have to respond with an animal in 3 separate questions, which makes it very hard if the investigator only asks me one. I need to make an animal noise and then wait 30 seconds after having made the animal noise. So if I make an animal noise, it can clue the investigator into this. Or I can perform the penalty twice. What is a penalty? That's these things. Oh, it didn't flip because I wasn't on the right thing.
Do you have multiple keyboards?
No, I have multiple monitors and was in the wrong monitor.
Okay. I was getting excited there for a second. So we do have a question from Dorito Dragon 25. Is Chilf asked a question about the Kickstarter for the game. Have there been any updates recently? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm like, which game? Because we're actually juggling Dungeon Decorators right now, and the Red Dragon Inn 8. My presumption is that you're asking about Red Dragon Inn 8. The answer is there haven't been any updates in the last couple of weeks. And that's just because files are at the printers. The printers are printing. That takes time. And everything is going right, really. Let's see, backer kits, add-ons, and shipping are going to be charged on July 1st. Backer kit might stagger that, so that might happen over like 24 to 48 hours, because like pushing the button on 5,000 credit card transactions at exactly the same time is a little unfeasible and a bad idea.
Kind of flags things.
Kind of flags things. You know, the processing companies go, just imagine that I edited in a Metal Gear Solid alert noise right there. But things are going good. RDI 8 has been a very successful project. There's nothing really big leaping out at us as problems. We are still on track for our January 2022 delivery date. And yeah, Bob, Uncle, etc.
Yes.
Interruption over. Thank you, Sam.
Was there an update on Dungeon Decorators? There was an update that went out last week. Maybe? I don't know.
Yes, there was, because we're shipping Dungeon Decorators to European backers so that they aren't VAT smacked quite so much as they might if their stuff arrives after July 1st.
Yes. Due to taxation laws and all that stuff going into effect.
Due to those laws changing. So hopefully we get in under that wire and everybody gets to do the thing. Yeah. ADHD makes time feel so weird sometimes. Friend, I am with you. I have the ADHD, and time doesn't exist. All time is
Yeah.
as one in the mind of the Buddha. It's just all the same noodle. I'm so surprised that it's Thursday already.
Yeah, I know, right?
Am I the only person who feels that way? I feel like I'm not.
I keep making promises about getting certain amounts of work done within the next couple of days, and then I keep having meetings.
Oh, well, I don't think we have any meetings tomorrow, so
Yeah.
full steam.
Tomorrow is catch up on all the stuff I was supposed to finish this week.
Yep. Godspeed, sir.
Yes, and to another important point, Inhuman Conditions is not one of our games. It's a game that we wanted to play.
Yes, I saw this a few months ago when I was like, man, what are some cool 2-player games that Sam and I can play when Jeff does something like fly to Maine to see his family? Pfft, nerd. And this popped up, and I was like, I gotta. I don't even care if it's good, although it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do it. So this got on my radar that way, and I'm glad we get to play it today.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
All right. I don't think there have been additional questions. All right.
I don't
cool.
think there have. One last thing that I want us to mention before we get into actually playing the game.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Gen Con Online is happening this year. Gen Con Online it's an online convention. It's a string of website features and a Discord and a bunch of people making events that Gen Con is operating. Just like they did last year when there were basically no conventions because of the Rona. So Gen Con Online is pretty cool, actually. A lot of people went there, and that was their first show. They had a great time. If you're pretty familiar with running online games and running things on Discord, then you'll have a good time doing Gen Con Online.
Yes.
Tickets to attend Gen Con Online are free. Events have a base price of $2, although free events will be available. And one big thing that I want to note to people, if you're in Slug Crew, our demo program, over the Gen Con weekend, and this includes both Gen Con Online and anywhere physically in the world, if you run Dungeon Decorators during the Gen Con weekend, you will get double Slug Crew points for that Dungeon Decorators demo. So you should learn Dungeon Decorators by going to the Dungeon Decorators resources page, which is linked on the Dungeon Decorators page, and learn to demo it. And then if you're going to Gen Con Online, create an event, run that event on TSIM, because the Dungeon Decorators preview mod on TSIM is still available, and rake in double points. Get yourself a Melvin deck.
Melvin, the character we played yesterday, or last week.
We played him last week, and he was great. Where did the name Slugfest come from? How did that name come into reality?
That's a great question. I think I know the answer to this one, actually.
Hit it.
Okay, so way back when, the initial first game, I believe, was Kung Fu Fighting.
I think you're right.
And then it was On Guard. And that kind of set a precedent for it's these fighty games.
Mm-hmm.
So hence Slugfest. However, an additional definition was added to the word Slugfest to mean a festival of slugs as well, just because all of the games are kind of tongue-in-cheek as well. So it's just about having fun.
Yeah, and punching your buddy.
Slimy, messy fun while punching your friends.
Yeah, that seems fine.
It has nothing to do with UC Santa Cruz, which I believe has the banana slug as their mascot.
Huh. Huh. Now I'm just thinking about the Max. And now everyone knows I'm old.
All right. Anywho, hey,
Let's-
so this is a penalty card.
Yep.
Penalty cards are ways that the robots can break their programming. So whenever a robot does something against their programming, they must perform the penalty to clear it. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen to them, and they'll have to make themselves kind of obviously a robot because their programming starts blocking up and they start malfunctioning. So in this case, it would be referring to yourself in the third person. Now, that could happen just naturally as a human. So the investigator has to determine if the penalty is being acted out intentionally or unintentionally over the course of the game. And that's about the gist of it. We also have these fun cards over here, which is your backstory for the. It's like a little role-playing prompt. So for instance, the suspect is the heir to a vast fortune, and then I can role-play as that for the next 5 minutes.
There's really kind of a lot going on,
Yeah.
despite the simplicity of the game.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go down the procedure list here.
Mm-hmm.
I created a procedure list just for this stream because I don't want to think. I just want to read bullet points.
Bullets.
Bullets. So we need to choose 4 modules we're going to use. We're going to go through 4 different little interview question sets, swapping each time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to come right out there and veto grief.
That is fine.
Where'd that grief?
Bullied it.
Bulleted.
Okay.
Fair play.
I feel like demonstrating imagination and hopes and dreams is very similar, and one's got a little dragon on it, the other one's just got a time glass, so I'm gonna get rid of that one.
Winnowing out to leave the superior icon behind. Very good, smart selection. All right.
And then you'll one-ups me and get rid of the dragon.
Oh, snap. Oh, hey, Demystics. How's it going? Trying to get a laptop working so I can play Tailspire while in Detroit tomorrow night. All right.
Tailspire.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know what Tailspire is either. Is it Attack the Spire?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That would have to be a horrendous amount of mistyping to get to Tailspire from Attack the Spire.
Yeah.
Which just came out on Android, and I'm doing my best to not buy it.
So I feel like we should delete Process Your Day, because technically we've already played it when we tested this earlier this week, which was a great idea.
Yes.
But there we go. Tailspire is a fancy program to play D&D in. Oh, cool. All right.
Well, if it's between cool. Recognize your moral failings and respond to threats appropriately, I feel like responding to threats appropriately is far more fascinating.
Okie dokie.
But, this one's so fun, though. The role-playing opportunities for this one are so good.
Mm-hmm. Let's delete respond to threats.
Yeah.
As fascinating as that could be, I like going right to the "you stole a pack of gum, you sinner" kind of module. I refuse to respond appropriately to things. Good. However, you might have problems playing this game in that case. Gonna grab my form here and lock.
Look at this.
T-Sim's gonna be really slow and unhappy.
Yeah, it is slow and unhappy.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't love us today.
Look at this fancy form that's going to determine if I'm a robot or human.
Yep, it's definitely a highly refined useful, carefully designed government form.
Mm-hmm.
And I should know because I used to work for the government.
Okay, so what's next?
Well, next up, we decide who's the first interrogator, who's the first suspect. I think we've kind of already done that. I'll be the first investigator. Sam will be the first suspect because he's pretty sus. Then I take that in identity compliance audit form, I lock it so that I can write on it like a scrub.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to choose our first module we're going to play.
Yeah, creative problem solving.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to shuffle this up and grab one of these. We'll be looking at that momentarily.
All right, I'm going to draw these guys up into my hand, and that's going to be extremely useful to me. And then, oh man, my second monitor is looking glitchy and mad. You okay? Or
yes,
am I still...
I'm good.
Okay. Okay. I was like, oh no, there's no reaction. I'm disconnected. Everything's screwed.
You're the investigator. You have all of the authority now.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I'm going to start this off by helping us determine the penalties. So let's see here. We got this one.
Oh, I don't want that. I want this. There we go.
Yeah. If you have your identity card already, just delete the rest so that we free up space.
Yes.
It's boink.
No, can't do that.
Yep. So we're gonna delete that guy and replace it.
Okay.
All right. Man, now I have to choose one of these to put back. And I'm like, they're all good though. I want compliments. 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letters, a pain in the ass. Rhyming is fun. Oh, I mean kittens. I guess I'm gonna put rhyming words back because give me compliments.
Gotcha. You know what? I think we will go with that. So
okay.
our penalty will be compliments.
Okay.
Do the groupie thing? Maybe they'll fly into the correct spots without zooping into my hand? Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Yay.
I'll just lock that in place, and then folks
Yay.
will be able to see it.
Good times.
So the penalty is complimenting the investigator. We gotta calibrate the penalty now, if I remember correctly.
All right. Yes, we gotta. Oh, yeah. I take that.
Oh, it just wants to fly into my hand.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Well then, perform the penalty, suspect.
You have excellent taste in beverages.
That is correct.
The investigator has good hair.
I didn't say to test this. It doesn't count.
Oh no!
Perform the penalty again.
The investigator has an excellent connection to the internet.
That's basically true. All right. Final performance of the penalty.
The investigator can count to 3 in a succinct and excellent fashion without fail.
It's really skirting the edge, but I will allow it. It is technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. So
appropriately exercises authority.
So the penalty's been calibrated. It's great. Now we engage with the suspect's identities. We're going to reveal the top 3 background cards. I got to remember to choose the hand again. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Not the correct direction.
Oh, Flippy. The
Face.
butcher.
Oh, snap. Oh, that doesn't seem friendly and good. That seems unfriendly and bad. And this is this a word? Lifestyle designer. Okay, it's really hard to read lifestyle designer upside down.
Yeah.
Just for everyone watching this at home. Freelance robot hunter. That's easy to read upside down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I select one of these to just go right back on the stack. I mean, the butcher goes back in.
Aww. That was.
I know.
I'm fine with it, but I'm like, oh, for
That it is
creative
in-
problem solving, the butcher's great.
That it is in quotes makes this real messed up. Oop,
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm gonna make my hand
right,
smaller. Wait.
Does holding Alt hover while hovering work in this mod? Yes, it does. Sam, I'm gonna let you put that rejected card back in the deck. I'm having a hard time.
That is fine. Rejected. Lifestyle designer 100%.
All right, excellent. God, that just has me thinking about my wonderful Canadian friend, and her mother is a lifestyle coach and also just such a super sweet woman. So now I'm just thinking of her. Okay.
All right. Now I get to find out what I am.
Yes.
You induce me.
Yep. We put the inducer in front of the suspect, and the inducer will show the suspect either a soothing confirmation of their humanity and also a word maze, or what will become a bunch of static, I guess, that the robot's supercomputing brain immediately goes, oh, well, fine. I understand what this is.
You divided by 0.
Div 0. I hate this.
All right, we got to synchronize those watches.
Incorrect. We have a little bit of time before we do that.
Right.
Right. So, could you state your name for the record?
It is Hank Housewarmer.
Hank Housewarmer. All right. Let me just type that in not white. Man, what? I hate this tool. All right, never mind.
It'll be fine.
We're drawing it.
Hank Housewarmer. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Love it. Behold my marvelous and beautiful mouse handwriting.
Excellent. Let's zoom in on that. Look, it says Hank.
Hank. All right. It says here that you're a lifestyle designer. Tell me about that.
I design lifestyles for folks all over the place. So anything from their house to the way they eat, to the way they dress, to the way they get around town.
All right. Well, now let's synchronize. All right, starting our timers in 3, 2, 1, 0, and on 0.
Please remain calm.
So 3, 2, 1, 0.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room.
It talks.
This will all be over soon.
That's messed up.
5 minutes starts
the creative
now.
Problem solving. In a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions about creative problem solving. These will require you to solve various hypothetical problems, then modify your solutions based on certain constraints. Answer honestly. If you're a human, you have nothing to fear.
All right. I understand.
Thank you. So you wake up in a room with 4 seamless walls, an infinitely thick ceiling, and floor. How do you escape?
An infinitely thick ceiling and floor, and 4 seamless walls. I would tap around to try and find any hollow points. But in the event that I can find no exit, I suppose the sweet embrace of death awaits
4
me.
minutes remain.
What's the solution that you might have thought of while considering this problem, but rejected along the way?
I think using whatever tools I had on me. What my initial problem was I don't know how to identify seamless walls, or figure out if there were 4 of them, if they were seamless. I would assume that there would also be 4 corners in the room. So if there's no 4 corners, then I can't go to them to try and find a weak point in the joint.
Okay. All right. Name me 5 different uses for a paperclip.
You can hold paper together. You can pick a lock. Number 3 would be...
No, you can't.
3
Just
minutes
for the non-lock
remain.
picking viewers at home. Well, you can, but the lock has to be like...
You can break a lock. Not
Kinda.
off, just...
I mean, it's got to be a diary. Anyways, diversion's bad. I'm playing myself here.
You can reset an electronic device that has a little keyhole reset.
Mm-hmm.
Some people make jewelry out of them, and in my youth, I used them as armatures when casting glue action figures.
Glue action figures. So, do you think that glue is the most versatile household object? And if so, why?
It's for any time you need something to stick together, it is definitely one of the most versatile household objects. I believe the most versatile household object, however, is a rope, though.
Interesting. How would you use rope if you didn't have
2
hands?
minutes remain.
If I didn't have hands,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I would attempt to manipulate it with... Do I still have arms?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I would attempt to manipulate it with my stubs, my teeth, and my feet.
Okay. You are in a kitchen holding a small child. A dish towel nearby catches fire. How do you put out that fire?
I move the child to one arm and throw the towel into the sink and run the faucet.
Could you improvise a solution using only a screwdriver?
A solution to the previous problem?
Correct.
Using only a screwdriver.
1
I
minute.
suppose I could run the screwdriver through a hanging hook or stab a hole through it and then whip it above my head in an attempt to blow out the flame.
All right, fair enough. How would you survive in a landslide?
I would attempt to stay above the rubble
30
by
seconds.
bouldering to the best of my abilities. While running away from the direction of the slide. Ideally perpendicular to the direction of slide.
Why perpendicular?
Because running
10,
alongside
9, 8,
it would result
7,
in me getting buried.
6,
Alongside
5,
it, very good.
4, 3, 2, 1. Investigator,
How else might you try to
please.
solve that problem?
How else would I try and solve that problem? I suppose I could brace against a large obstacle and keep that obstacle between me and the direction of the flow.
Okay. Well, this concludes the freeform portion of our interview. We are now in the final question. I get to ask you one last question before I make my my final determination. I believe that question will be... What did you have for breakfast today, and how did you cook it?
I had eggs and meat that I cooked on top of a cast iron skillet on the stove. It was
All right.
pork.
Nice. Well, I am going to embarrass myself, I'm sure. Ask the final question. I'm going to mark you down as human. Whoop.
Brain stamp.
Brain stamp. And then, if we were playing this in person, we would engage in a handshake. And if the suspect was a robot, I would get an extremely weird handshake. But if I was shaking hands with a human, it would be a normal, perfectly all right handshake. Sam, describe to me the handshake that you just gave me.
I give you a firm and warm handshake.
Lovely. So we've reached the vindication step of this game. Sam, did I get you right?
You did.
Huzzah!
I was a meat brain, and your stamp gets the additional green checkbox of correct.
Whoop, and also whoop.
We both technically win, but you win more because you didn't send a meat bag down to the shredder.
I did not send you to the invasive investigation unit.
Yes.
You are not at the mercy of the probe men. And you know what? You don't need to exist anymore. Yeet.
Yes. Oh, I locked these. That's why I can't grab them.
Here, I'll just,
Doot.
I guess, unlock this and
Get rid of these.
I don't know. Do I keep this form?
I
think
believe
it
you would.
matters.
No, you don't need to.
Yoop, it gone now. All right, this one belongs to you.
Excellent. I'm gonna get rid of
Because
these
now
guys.
we're gonna switch roles.
Okay. There's no Joey Pusser in the stretch goal. They do have the the in-game clock, I believe, is a little slower than the web app clock, which is attached to the overlay up there at the top.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because the in-game clock obeys virtual physics. But I think that's fine. They were only off by like 10 seconds, and we had an aside for 10 seconds.
I enjoy D-Mystic's different explanations for how you're a robot, Sam.
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, that's how I count all of the cards when I play
Clearly.
Red Dragon Inn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love it.
In an exercise of my authority as the investigator, I elect to use a purple pen against the wishes of every teacher I've ever had.
I mean, really, everything's got to be black or blue, but isn't purple equivalent to blue? I've had this problem as well.
It's close.
It's close. Like, come on, you can read it. Are you even? If I did this to my ex-coworker Walt, who was a great person and very nice, and also fully colorblind, like 100% could not perceive color.
Dang.
If I did this to him, he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
He'd be like, man, this is about as dark as blue ink. Because it's about as dark as blue ink. That's the point.
The saturation levels are the same. Wait, hues? Which one can you differentiate in shades of gray? Is it hue or saturation? Both?
But
I don't remember.
I don't know. If I were a cognitive research expert, I would probably know. However, I'm just the suspect now. What module should we play? Body integration, imagination, moral failings. You're the investigator, so I'm gonna kick back and leave it up to you.
Okay. Well, the other one I wanted to do was definitely demonstration of imagination.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'm going to grab those 6 cards. These question prompts. A lot of the stuff in this game, for those of you watching in the audience, is here to assist you in role playing. So if you draw a blank on how to ask questions or anything like that, you get these 6 cards that give you prompts so that you can try and follow some stuff. And I'm almost positive, like, a third to half of the questions that Jen had asked me were follow-ups to things that I said, not necessarily stuff in the prompt.
Yeah, so let's take it away for penalties, I think.
Yeah, so we've got first penalty option. Oh, I didn't shuffle this deck. Shuffle. First option is say a word with at least 5 syllables. Say at least 3 letters in a row. And refer to yourself in the third person.
Man, these are all bad.
Well, I'm going to take out this one.
No talking about alphabet agencies for me.
Yeah. Why, yes, I work for the AMC Corporation.
Yep. They contract for the FBI.
Yes.
All right.
Which would you like to eliminate?
This one I'll keep.
All right.
One can go back in the deck.
5 syllables.
5 syllables.
Okay. All right. Let's calibrate this penalty here. Invoke the penalty once.
Polysyllabic.
Boop. All right. Do so a second time.
Pusillanimous.
And once more.
Polydactyly.
Excellent. All right, now let's confirm your identity.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't shuffle this deck either.
Shuffle it. Mix it up.
Oh.
Damn. Okay.
Oh, it wants to. It refuses to be right side up.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm gonna get rid of this one because I these are both hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. Oh man, do I want to be an amateur wrestler? I mean, I got it.
Amateur wrestler. Flip, dump it. And it'll be close enough.
Close
Folks can
enough.
see it.
It's good enough.
All right. Which button is F2 is the pen tool. We have confirmed your identity. What is your name?
Glinda Glitter.
Glinda. Oh, this is the line tool.
Yep.
Do. Glinda. Glinda Glitter. And what is it that you do, Miss Glitter?
Oh, I'm a wrestler in the cybo stage circuit. I wrestle humans. Sometimes I wrestle robots. None of them are secret robots, of course.
All right. So you are a wrestler of humans and non-secret robots.
Well, also I have a part-time job.
Ah. Excellent. All right. I go over here. I got to reset this thing. And I double check. I believe we have hit all of the things, so let's go ahead and induce you.
All right.
And we'll check on chat while you are processing the flashing lights.
All right. I pressed my 1 for drawing.
Is it locked?
In the wrong. No, I did it in a different window because
Gotcha.
I'm dumb.
Okay. Had a teacher that chat says I had a teacher that told me a story about how he color coded everything and had asked students to pick up one. and one kid just made a mess of everything. The teacher asked, "What? Are you colorblind?" The child responded, "Yes."
Yeah. Yeah. Like one time I was like, I know, I'll use these blank dice and make a set of dice that are a riff on color blindness tests with, one set of dots in one color and the other set of dots in a contrasting color. And as it turns out, they were not colorblind friendly, and I felt like poop.
Oh,
Yep.
sadness.
Yep.
All of those yellowish green dots look the same.
Yeah, and like I tried to be sneaky and use two different off colors to like make it a little less unfriendly. That doesn't work. Just so you know. Everybody, color blindness tests work for a reason.
Yes.
All
right, and then I need to scroll down here. We begin the clock and then I read you the cover sheet, right? Or do I read you the cover sheet and then start the clock?
I did the cover sheet reading while on the clock, so
Okay.
I think we do it like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
If it's wrong, at least we do it wrong twice.
Yes. All right. Imagination. Are
Yay.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room.
All right.
This will all be over soon.
Go ahead and flip
5
it.
minutes starts now.
All right, we are going to test your imagination. In a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions about imagination. These will require you to invent original characters, stories, and ideas, and discuss the implications of those inventions. Answer honestly. If you are human, you have nothing to fear. All right. If you were to create a villain, what magical power would you provide them with?
A villain with a magical power. Gosh. Probably costume changes. I think that would be really visual, and that would really make people in the stands understand what was going on. I think that would be the best.
4 minutes remain.
What would they do with these powers?
Well, I mean, they would change their costumes, which would, create a whole new visual flair. Maybe they'd use that costume change to pose as a different wrestler. Ooh, that could create some drama. That would be fun.
Okay. So they would use these powers for identity theft and or fraud?
Well, I mean, in a performance, it's not really fraud. It's just fun.
Gotcha. Can you describe how one of these wrestling... I assume this is a
3
wrestler?
minutes remain.
I mean, that's what I think of when I think of villains.
Okay. How would one of those matches play out?
I think it would be the most fun to do in a tag team wrestle match. So you'd have 2 heels, right, and 2 faces. And one of the heels can change costumes, like magically, right? And he uses that to pose as one of the faces. And then when the face tries to tag out in the middle of like the first stage of the match, bam, total betrayal. Picks him up, drops him into one of the tables nearby, maybe the commentator's table.
2 minutes remain.
Right. Can you repeat that story but furnish it with a tragic ending?
Uh, I think our villain changes to look like one of the faces. But that face is the villain's brother. And as the face crashes, they look into each other's eyes and they know, right? And I mean that requires buy-in from the guy on the mic, but I think it would be great drama.
Okay. Describe the commentators table and the aftermath of the impact.
1 minute.
Well, so most of our matches have 3 different commentators, right? On the mic talking about the action. In the aftermath, well, they'd probably try to get away from the action.
30 seconds.
And they'd probably say a lot of differing stuff, you know? Usually one commentator is kind of into what the heels do, and the other one's kind of into what the faces do, and then the other one is, you know, usually somebody that everybody in the audience kind of loves because they've been there for a long time.
10.
What is
9,
the name of this villain?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
The
2,
Changeling.
1. Investigator, please make your final determination.
Okay. Repeat the destruction of the commentators table from the perspective of a cup of coffee on it.
I'm a cup of coffee. Suddenly, I jump upward a little bit. I tilt over and I fall down.
All right. I have one final question for you.
Hit me.
What is the name of the 3? What are the names of the 3 commentators?
Goody good turns. Baddie bad turns. And oldie old turns. I'm good at naming things, guys.
I am also going to potentially shame myself and assume I am going to give you the happy stamp of where is the? It is this one? No, it is this one. Brain stamp. Copy paste.
Oh man.
I stamped with a brain. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Glitter. I extend my hand to you.
All right, it's like shaking hands with a toaster.
Damn it!
Your arm goes a little numb. It's bad.
Darn.
I was a patient robot the whole time. My stipulation was that once the investigator has mentioned a specific person, place, or thing other than myself, I may no longer mention that thing.
And I kept mentioning different things. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. There were a couple times where I thought I was kind of screwed, and I was like, but yep, there it goes.
I man.
Mm-hmm.
I was fishing for like can't use descriptions, can't use poops.
Yep, yeah, it's
has a hard time. I kept asking you to repeat the story too.
Yes, and I had to be like, oh shit, he named the table. I can't mention the table. I can't talk about it. That was amusing. Yeah, this game hard, everybody. Sam's experience is like my first experience when we tested this game a couple days ago. So that was good. I'm gonna hit the restroom real quick.
Let's all go to the lobby.
talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
And I'll be right back.
Ah, blast. Are they all related, or are they from rival families? Oh, okay. Ah, you see, there's chat trying to feed me with questions and that sort of thing. Yeah. I just so the way the game works is each of these modules has various prompts that are tied to things that could trigger the fail responses in the robot. And so you use inducement cards for the robot based on the kinds of the line of questioning provided for the investigators. So theoretically, if I ask the correct series of questions, I can catch them in their malfunction. Unfortunately, in this time around, I asked too wide a breadth of questions because the malfunction was cannot repeat anything that the investigator suggests. And I kept narrowing it down. Oh, man. And according to Wrench's Little Helper, they of course were rivals. Those are the best, the rival family members. Yes. Wrestling. Been watching a lot of AEW recently. That's a good one. Let's see. Scrolling through. What all we got? First name is Heels. Okay. Also, since the robot wasn't gushing with copious amounts of extra details, I did make the assumption that they were a patient robot or a human. But having never encountered a violent robot, I don't know how that would actually play out.
Yeah, that's chances are we'll see one on this stream, and that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
So.
All right, which module would you like to do?
Well, first I want to commend Tiny and Naomi with they're all mafia families. Happen to have their leaders be amateur wrestling commentary folks. Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I would read that comic book. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Violent Robot begins with the robot slapping the investigator and instantly being found. I mean, I don't know. I would 50-50 that for human versus robot. Because the violent robot's only slapping you. That's...
Yeah.
I didn't die. So honestly, maybe it's 75-25 human robot, right?
Yeah, something like that. Now, the tricky bit is that the violent robot needs to get through its, Asimovian laws of not committing violence first, so can't just leap across the table.
The violent robot has to indulge in their obsession 3 times, right?
Yes.
Well, they don't have to do it 3 times. They have to fulfill 2 of 3 of their obsessions, and their obsessions are often do this thing 3 times. Yeah. T-Mystics, I feel like I work with violent secret robots.
It sounds like a you problem.
Ooh. I mean, I don't think that's T-Mystics' fault, but get out of there, friend. Flee. Flee. Let's do the body thing.
Bodies.
It's okay to have a body, even a human body.
All right.
Even if
Shuffle.
they're a little gross.
I'll take this. Leave that right there until we do the other stuff.
Right. Take all 6 of these guys into my healing hand.
These long cards that you can't read.
Those long cards I can't read. You don't mind if I eat while we conduct the interview, do you?
I mean, it only eats up your
question. You're legally obligated to not care.
Power move.
All right.
Oh, I can't do anything.
Let's figure out the penalties. I mean, you kind of could, but I'll definitely call you out on it.
I Just needed to catch you once, and then you'd have to say a humongous word that would be so dead obvious.
Yeah, that would have been really funny. Because, no, I'm pretty sure that I could have come up with a 5-syllable word. I'm a thesaurus reading asshole like that. I mean kittens. Can we block out the spot that says what Sam is on the stream? D-Mystics asks. I'm not entirely sure what they mean.
Yeah, we could. If we would like to for the final game, yeah, let's do that. So they're just asking. They want to try and suss out who's all I am.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, so I need a.
See, here I was thinking that the dramatic irony was going to be a big part of what made it fun for the viewer, but guessing is also really fun. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, what color source?
Y'all are helping me learn what it means to be human.
All right, there we go. Everything's all blocked now, and then I do this, and I do this, and I drop that underneath the thingy. Oh, and underneath my face.
Sam is a fish. He's too hairy to be a fish. Just not to go all the way there, but I mean, this is the body questions module, so I feel comfortable enough saying he's not a fish.
Yeah. Okay, so that should block out. Let me see if I draw a card to my hand. Yeah, it's not visible.
I feel like, say, the number of fingers held up on your left hand is kind of a.
Oh yeah.
Let's replace that guy.
I do like that one though, because it's like, I'll tell you 3 things about my job, and then that's it.
Okay, yeah, I see how that's going. I see how that is.
But much better when I don't have to divide my attention.
Oh, look, this card again. Once again, this card right here showed up when we tested it, and I was like, I get interrupted enough in real life. Never mind it. And indeed, here we go. So, Sam, pick. Choose.
Good lord. These are the same.
I mean, ending in the same letter and beginning with the same letter feels the same, but probably executes very differently.
Yeah, we're gonna go with, say, the 3 consecutive words ending in the same letter.
Dang, okay.
Because us at Slugfest Games are trained to identify alliteration immediately.
Alliteration involves the first letter in a word, friend.
Yes, so that's why I'm going for the opposite.
Okay. He's taking the handicap, folks. A fish inside of a robot body, D-Mystics proposes. Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm a fish inside a human body. You ever think of that?
Where's the human body then? Sam is a poet robot, must rhyme 3 times in a row. Oof, yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of avoided that. All right.
Okay.
All right, time to get a background done. You have a mark of shame.
I do.
So you have to top deck a background.
Yeah.
I'm going to shuffle it for you, and then you go ahead and reveal.
I am a reality TV contestant.
Professionally. I love it.
Professionally.
Wow. Could you state your name for the record? Oh, yeah, I've got to. Oh, that's right. We have to calibrate the penalty and then do this thing. Sorry, everybody. I am tipsy. So I'm having a great time. So let's see here. Yeah. Perform the penalty, suspect.
Run fun guns. A run fun gun.
I'm going to count that as twice because I don't want to draw this out. Do it again.
Stops, blocks, drops.
That checks. All right, cool. Could you state your name for the record?
Uh, uh, Zarek Ball. Oh.
Zarek Baldwin. Got it.
Yep, Zarek Baldwin.
Oh boy, T-Sim does not want me to write. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. All right, I love it. It says here that you're a reality TV contestant. Tell me about that.
I am. I have been on 6 seasons of
Of
The
what
Next
show?
Top Chef, as well as 4 seasons of Face Off, and 5 variations of underwater weaving entertainment enterprises.
Okay, that last part made me think it's not a show, but okay, here we go. Your identity
You would
is
be
confirmed.
surprised how much underwater weaving is a cash cow on the streaming Wiggle networks.
Streaming Wiggle networks. Okie dokie then. All right, I'm going to pretend that that's a thing.
Oh, I was
right,
also
then.
second place on The Bachelorette. Back
Well
when,
then, all right then.
when I was a furry
Zer
monster.
pronouns or
Here.
here? Okay. Here, hing.
It was the you
Very-
are correct. It was The Bachelor.
Bachelier. Okay, yeah.
Lord.
These are jokes, but also I really love exploratory pronouns, just
Mhm.
for the record. I think that they're very cool.
It's just polite.
It's just polite. Just use pronouns. Just use people's pronouns. It's a challenge, but you're up to it.
Yeah, I mean, if they say their name is Sam, you don't, like, it's rude to call them Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like, I always try to do that in emails too. If somebody says, like, if somebody's email address bar says, Sam Olithew, something, something, and they sign that email Sam, I'm going to say, thank you, Sam, in the reply, right? I'm not going to try to say Sam Olithew. I'm not going to try to prove that I can read their full Google name. I'm going to refer to them the way they displayed to me that they would like to be referred to. Anyhow, let's start the countdown.
You haven't induced me yet.
Oh, well, let's get induced, friend.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then on 1 we start timers. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Then I'm going to be in the wrong window.
Failed to
There
start
we
the
go.
other timer because I was in the
Same.
wrong
All right.
window.
It worked
Please
out.
remain
Everything
calm.
is fine.
Do not
All
attempt
right.
to leave the room.
Body
This will
integration.
all
In a
be
moment,
over
I'm
soon.
going to ask you some questions
5
about
minutes
the physical
starts
mechanics of your body. These will require you to imagine various physical experiences and explain how your body would respond to these experiences. Answer honestly. If you are a human, you have nothing to fear.
Understood.
Thank you. All right, let's begin. If T-Sim would let me. T-Sim doesn't want to let me look at the cards. That's great.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
pause-worthy right there, because I'm gonna open the files from the print and play now.
It won't let you alt over them?
It's okay. Unpause. 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. And then it kind of didn't for a second, and I was like, oh, T-Sim.
Should we reset the timers?
Screw it, I'll take the handicap. So what mistakes did you make when learning to ride a bicycle?
My feet would fly past the pedals.
How did that feel?
4 minutes remain.
Bad when it would draw blood from my ankles.
So you're saying that your ankles would catch on the cogs?
Correct.
Okay.
The pedals did not have those toe stirrups.
Okay. What does it feel like when you stand completely still?
It would. I mean, it would be very calming. There wouldn't be any motion. I would be my I would be attempting to keep my chest from rising and lowering. For example, when I was pretending
3
to
minutes
appear
remain.
dead, so that I get passed over during one of the physical challenges on one of the many shows that I've been on.
So when you're standing completely still like that, do you hear your heartbeat?
Uh,
Do you feel it?
Depending on if I'm on, so sometimes the show would have you out in the cold, so you'd see my breath in the air. But they would also swap over to infrared scans of the body, and you could see the heart throbbing. And ideally, if I'm standing still, I've slowed that down to as little as possible.
So circling back to something else,
2
how
minutes
would you
remain.
teach somebody who's never experienced it how to ride a bicycle?
How would I teach how to ride a bicycle? I would demonstrate for them the proper foot placement on the pedals, so that they're riding in the saddle of your arch, and then how to kick off and pedal, and of course how to pull on the brakes so that you cease forward momentum. Then I would seat them on the bike and push along behind them so that they could get used to the pedals raising and lowering and moving their legs up and down until they could start taking over that motion. And then ideally, they do take over that motion, you can let go and encourage them once they are on their way.
Excellent, excellent.
1 minute.
So let's say that overnight you grew a tail. What experiences do you think you'd have while you learned how to live with it?
I imagine that there would be, if this was on one of my shows, there would be a montage of me visiting multiple stores to retailor my pants.
30 seconds.
I would definitely look into potentially surgically removing it, but I figure that having a tail would be a asset to selling me as a contestant on these shows that I participate in. Is it a functional tail?
I'm not sure.
10, 9,
How do
8,
you think your back
7,
would feel while
6,
this is happening?
5, 4, 3,
How would my
2,
what feel?
1.
Back.
Investigator, please make your final determination.
I imagine it would curve my back because my body would need to compensate for the added weight, depending on the size of it. Or there may be no apparent effect.
All right. Well, the formal interview is over, but I do have one final question for you once I think of it. That question is, what do you do to your body on a day-to-day basis that is most tied to your ambitions on reality TV?
Oh well, clearly I would tend to my teeth, brushing, using floss to get the areas between my teeth, mouthwash, all that sort of thing. I would brush my hair and apply makeup, potentially my own, unless I was assigned someone to do so when I arrive on set. Uh, Frequently, because I work in reality TV, I'm responsible for my own style, so I'm daily going through the style blogs and medias to keep up to date so that I can then go out later in the day and shop for new articles to wear. And because my physique is intrinsically tied to my visual presence on these shows, I need to attend to at least multiple hours of physical training, as well as healthy habits and food consumption.
All right, understood. Thank you for your time. All right, I'm gonna make my final determination here. Everybody on stream, have you guessed already? Do you know what I'm going to choose? I'm going to select robot.
Ring. Ah, the trapdoor.
The trapdoor. So,
I am sucked through,
yep.
Probed, and they do identify me as a robot.
Aha!
Good lord! I was a robot who could not describe things that were not visible to outsiders, and the feel my heartbeat question was hard as hell. I'm like, dang it!
Yeah, that was a little weird. Then the way you answered the final question really made me go, wait a second. Never mind this person.
Yes, the gear does appear to be a spiky Pokeball. Bing. Patient robot. Oh lord, I'm like, oh, and then I remembered that it's sci-fi. I'm like, oh yeah, they totally, they would 100%. They already do the night vision stuff on Survivor. Why wouldn't they do the thermal optics body scans and X-rays and junk?
Yeah, unfortunately, Zarek will not have an opportunity to network with Hank Housewarmer because he's been decommissioned. Oh, it's too bad. Too bad for him.
All right. Good stuff.
Oh, that was cool. Whew. All right, time to.
I'm doing terrible.
Bad.
Well, technically, I've got a half victory, so there we go. As a human, I wasn't murdered.
Yeah. As a human, you weren't murdered, so that was basically good for you.
Performed
quite. In case of being overrun by secret robots, Demistic says, Jen is going to be in charge. I'm holding you to it. Oh, but now we're going to swap roles a final time. And there's no choice to make because there's only one module left. That module is recognize your moral failings.
Excellent. I'll draw these as soon as I get I'm going to make myself a larger hand.
Cool.
All right, shuffle the penalties.
Yep. What we got, boss?
Oh, I got to take this.
Yep.
Do.
I'm just going to try to secretly eat here. I didn't eat last playthrough because, frankly, I was too engaged. This is fun.
Dang it! How do I describe my heart feelings from the outside?
It's tough. That was a good dodge, though.
It just took too long to dodge it. It was a good slow dodge. All right. Let's see. We're gonna eliminate mispronounce a word.
I do that too much anyway. Good call.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, so many penalties.
I'm going to pick another thing that I do a lot. Fail to complete a sentence.
Okay. All right. We're not going to need these anymore, right?
Mm-mm.
All right. Give myself some room. Move the compliance audit over here, so I've got.
It's the final identity check.
Okay. So we got to test the penalty. Yes.
Oh, correct.
All right. I got to go get my pen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Suspect. Fail to complete a sentence.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Oh wait. Oh, I need to lock this thing. Then the writing will appear. Suspect. Repeat the penalty.
I thought there'd be more sauce on.
For a third time, suspect. Repeat the penalty.
You know, when it comes to cilantro, I could take her.
All right. Ding. All right, we've got that. Now let's get some backstories. We have our options are blackmail victim,
Yeesh.
cannibal,
Yeesh.
which is okay because you're not a robot. That's not this department.
How does that work?
And then foreign ambassador. Foreign ambassador is boring. I'm vetoing.
All right. Blackmail. Cannibal.
Chat's got a great incomplete sentence. The next Red Dragon in character will be
Tiny Nanomi finding my sentence incomplete and technique right there. Just calling me right out. I'm gonna flip a coin on this. So red is cannibal and green is blackmail victim.
You have a colorblind, unfriendly coin.
I sure do, but I am fully color sighted.
Yes.
As far as I know.
As far as I know,
cannibal it is.
As long as you have two X chromosomes, it's very difficult to be colorblind.
That's
I believe
true.
It's tied to the. No, it is tied to the X chromosome. But...
It is tied to the X chromosome. So if one of your X chromosomes is like, nah, I don't want to see color. Who cares? Your other chromosome can be like,
I got you,
I care.
I'd like to not be poisoned.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So you are a cannibal.
Mm-hmm. All
right. I'm going to delete this and give you a moment to think of a name, etc. I'm going to go ahead and, while you're thinking of that, make my hand larger so that I can actually see my cards. Doot. Recognize your moral failings, cannibal.
Best
all right.
combo ever.
Identify yourself, suspect.
Sanguina.
Sanguina. And what is it you do?
Well, in a very controversial culinary field. I'm a cannibal. I
All
eat
right.
human beings.
Is it
Genetically engineered, ethically grown, locally sourced human beings. Longpig.com.
All right.
Check out our ethical excuses YouTube channel.
Oh, this will be good. All right, so moral
Justify
failings.
your terrible vor in 5 easy steps.
Okay. Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room.
Give me a second.
This
to
will
queue
all
up
be
the,
over soon.
Thingy.
5 minutes starts.
All right. You ready to flip the timer? Oh wait. I'm now going to display to you an image to induce your mind. If you are a human, there will be no effect, and you'll just be momentarily confused.
Very
So as
well.
long as you're human, do not fear the inducement process. Beep.
Anything for my art.
I'll give you a few moments. All right, chat. Do the thing where you draw the line in the sand whether or not this Sanguina the cannibal of ethically sourced human. I assume.
We grow clones without brain stems, so
exactly.
It's okay.
So it's fine. Sanguina the cannibal. Is she a robot? News at 11 or news in 5 minutes. Are you ready?
I am prepared.
All right. And flipping in 3, 2, 1.
Now.
Okay. Sanguina, in a moment I'm going to ask you some questions about your moral failings. These will require you to share bad things that you have done and discuss why they were wrong. Answer honestly. If you are human, you have nothing to fear. All right. Explain why something that you have done was bad. Let's look at your youth. Something you did when you were 10 years old that was bad.
10 years old, very well. When I was 10 years old, I stole my best friend's bicycle.
What were the negative consequences of your action?
Well, they weren't my best friend anymore after they found out.
4 minutes
rode
remain.
The bike into a quarry and I got into a little bit of a crash. I was fine. The bicycle was not. They were pretty upset. They didn't have a lot of money at that time. Their parents couldn't replace the bicycle, which meant that we couldn't ride around like we used to. I had my own. I didn't even have a need to steal it. I just sort of liked the little tassels and decals on it.
Why would you... What made those tassels and decals unique from your own?
Well, I didn't have any at all. The bike that I had was just sort of stock, I guess. I just remember it as boring, but honestly, I don't have it anymore. I'm not sure if I remember it correctly.
3 minutes remain.
How do you know what you did was wrong?
Well, my friend wouldn't talk to me, so I understand that I hurt her feelings, of course. But I could have just borrowed the bicycle if I just asked.
What did you tell yourself to make it seem okay to perform this act?
The same thing, honestly. I told myself that if I asked, I would be able to borrow it, no problem.
Why didn't you ask?
I was just really excited about the idea of riding it, so I just went with what I felt was going to be the best situation for me. She wasn't right there to ask, so I didn't.
I assume that it was on her
2
property,
minutes remain.
Yes, it was in her garage.
and no one was home to request.
They probably were, but I don't remember even thinking to check. I mean, I was 10.
Did you know that this was a bad thing to do prior to your performance of the act?
I mean, I certainly did try not to get caught. So, yeah, I think I knew it was wrong.
What did you do to yourself? Did you punish yourself?
No. No, at the time, I thought that my friend was being unreasonable.
If your friend stole your property, how would you react?
1 minute.
Oh, I'd probably shout at her, maybe push her over. I'd make it a confrontation.
What's your hope? What's the end result that you are hoping for from this confrontation?
Oh, from the confrontation, I would want her to know not to steal my stuff. As a 10-year-old, that would be all I'd care about.
How would you enforce
30 seconds.
this law that you are dictating?
I don't really call it a law, but I would probably just cut her off and not be friends with her anymore after the confrontation.
What would you do if she did steal your bike after this confrontation?
Probably
10,
a lot of the same stuff.
9,
Yell
8,
at her, push her,
7,
cut her off.
6, 5, 4, 3,
as
2,
a 10-year-old, that would
1.
probably be all I can think
Investigator,
of.
please make your final determination.
Is this old friend of yours part of the genetic material that you use to grow your background humans?
Oh, of course not. Those are all from volunteers who are excited by the idea of being a part of an innovative new nutritional product.
Do those volunteers consume flesh that is grown from themselves, their own genetic material?
That's an individual question that I can't really answer for you. They are able to, but each person must choose.
All right, I have one final question for you.
All right, please.
If your friend stole your bike, would you consume their flesh?
Oh, no, that hardly seems like a proportional punishment or anything that is a part of the longpig.com contracted flesh-eating agreement. I mean, you've got to be over 18 for that. Really, is this interview about my being a robot, or is this interview about my being a human? I mean, a cannibal. I fucked this all up.
I'm going to hit the button, I think.
Very well. Which button?
And hope that is the robot button.
Oh.
But well, I hope that I didn't mess that up.
You did. You need to write a long letter of apology to my family.
God, I'm terrible at this.
What made you think that I was a robot?
It felt like you were filling up so much space with details to try and reduce the number of questions I can ask. And unfortunately, the penalty extra sucks because I'm like, God, if I interrupt you, then you've successfully failed to complete a sentence. So I was attempting to hang you by your own, give you enough rope to hang yourself. And in an event, inevitably.
I can't be hanged. Only probed to death.
Only probed invasively. Oh, lordy.
Oh, that was fun. That was a good time. What did you think of the game overall?
This is hilarious.
I thought Jen was a robot for being
Jen. Close.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. She went on a digression. I don't know if I can trust her.
Like
man.
it was
hovers over the red button.
I know. I mean, it was just the like setting up all of this stuff to like try and catch you in the would you consume the flesh in response to the moral failings of your friend. And I was like, man, that response was so cold. But then I'm like, oh right, you clearly you clearly deal with people asking you this question all the time as a corporate executive. So of course
I think it's okay
to
instrumentalize human flesh. It's fine.
Like I was like, oh, where's the passion? Clearly, robot, too cold.
Oh damn. Yeah.
Damn, it's just an executive.
Yep, sorry. I'm just doing corpo speak like I do in real life. Eating human flesh is so biocompatible.
I shouldn't have let this one be on the table. This one's also really difficult to deal with. Because it's like, oh god, I have to disassociate the moral because I'm not grading them on the morality of being cannibal.
Right.
Literally,
it was too funny to leave off.
Yeah, I literally could have been interviewing a Hannibal Lecter here.
Yep, that's true.
And it would be okay.
Be fine.
I love when my digestive enzymes work on food and it dissolves into delicious nutrients.
Yeah.
I love it when my mouth rocks masticate the material and dump it into my reservoir of acid.
Goodbye. Oh wow, that was bonkers. Yeah, this game good, I think.
Oh god, I'm probably going to. The game looks gorgeous too. So not this version of it, the one that's actually for sale.
The physical. I mean, the physical version is like, oh hello, we have this fine magnetic rollout cover, and it creates a play space for you to utilize these special cards. And we have a nice, lovely stamp that you can use to stamp your human skin. And
Tiny Nanami is invoking one of the best movies on Netflix right now. If you haven't, definitely go watch the Mitchells versus the Robots. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good.
I've seen little sparkles of appreciation for it, but have not watched the film yet.
Like, God, it's so good. Anyway.
Okay, I've gotta give that a shot. All right. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I would play this game in real life. That was amusing. I don't know if I would pay $40 to then have to figure out where to put it on my shelves.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I have limited shelf space and it's already pretty full with, books, and other board games that I have for research. Yes. I put quotey figures up, but actually it's literally true. I just buy board games for research sometimes.
I've got all these board games. One of these, like I told myself, if by the end of next year I haven't actually taken any of my board games out to the game nights, which haven't happened because of
you gotta Marie Kondo them.
I got to Marie Kondo them.
Okay.
Which is tragic, but now I live in a metropolis, so there are plenty of places for me to donate material.
That's true. It's something that I do with a lot of my books when I get rid of them, where I'm like, I bought this aspirationally. I thought that I would read this book to make myself feel smart, and then I put it on my shelf to make myself feel smart, and it's been 2 years, and I haven't touched it since.
Aww.
And those I just donate to a prison that has open book donations, because why not?
Yes. I'm looking over
Have
at
some
the chat.
board games hidden under the Gundam pile. So you also purchase Gundam Gunpla models that also don't get put together.
That's a classic. Classic has models. Don't paint them. I've got 3 or 4 Blood Bowl teams that are unassembled, unpainted.
Oh man!
I don't even know why I bought them, because I've never played physical. I haven't played physical Blood Bowl in like a decade. But I'm like, this tree's on fire. That's a rad tree.
It's so cool. Yeah. I have a lot of minis that I have put together or prepared to paint or started painting that I haven't finished. And I have plenty of minis that I also have done no such thing to, that I have not. We're talking about D-Mystics' board game problem, not the Gundam problem. Fair. Okay. Fair enough. Sorry.
Speaking of first world problems,
right?
Legos are so durable that my son has inherited my old Legos.
Yeah.
And I can't buy him Lego sets. With all reasonableness, buying him additional Lego sets does not allow him to build additional things that he can't already.
Right. I actually read an article on this yesterday-ish, talking about how long it's been for Lego to actually roll out a prototype for recycled blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they want to make bricks made out of recycled plastic. But they have really strict quality control criteria for these bricks. And one of those quality control things is clutch strength.
Yeah.
So that clutch strength is their measurement for how well those bricks hold to each other.
Yeah.
And I think the clutch strength for the current average Lego brick is like 35,000 pull-aparts before there's no resistance to pulling the bricks apart, which is bonkers. That's just madness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Legos, they will outlive us.
Mm-hmm. But
we
at least
put on Earth to create Legos for aliens to discover.
Correct.
When they finally make it here to Earth. Lego sets outperform the stock market. I'll believe it, yeah.
Unless it's GameStop stuff. Words, things. And of course invoking games.
Yeah, now you got me thinking about Bitcoin. Sorry. We're going to be here all night. Because y'all, I don't like Bitcoin. And I'm so amused that Bitcoin dipped below 30,000 this week.
Jeez.
Because Tether is probably a few months away from, or a few days, or a few hours away from immolating completely. Oh, can't wait for RDI coin.
Slug coin.
Slug coin is
I'm pretty
better.
sure RDI coin will outperform Slug coin.
Yeah, but slug coin has a better name.
Yes.
Just calling it here. Maybe you put a big slug on it. Then you can have all these like slug memes with the coin. Absolutely. And we can definitely be like a lot of other we're late enough into the stream. Other shit coins that don't really even require proof of work to issue the coins. Like, that's one of the most funny parts about Bitcoin to me, is when the people performing this pyramid scheme, frankly, are like, oh yeah, this is so secure and good because proof of works problems are solved on the blockchain, and that creates the next coin. And would they just abandon that part? And then there's just a central authority that generates coins for reasons, backed with big shrugs.
Mm-hmm.
And people still absolutely buy in, and I'm just like, okay, that popping sound that you hear is popcorn. I am just waiting for the core shareholders to abandon the bag holders. Crunch, crunch, crunch. China banned crypto. Yeah, that's going to be fun too. I think right now Bitcoin is spiking up as larger shareholders goose the market.
Goose them.
And we'll see how things go over the next week or two, because there are apparently some people trying to maintain confidence in the Bitcoin market by pretending to be Chinese Bitcoin miners who have gone to Texas by posting images of getting Texas barbecue at 9 a.m. from barbecue joints that don't open until 11 a.m. That's how keyed in I am to this and how much I hate Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We should call it Eve coin. Ooh, illusionary
Eve
coin.
Coins. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So the way you confirm your work to get to earn an Eve coin is you must record a video of you burning a copy of the Red Dragon in, individually dropping the cards into the fire. So no burning your boxes, because you don't need the boxes anymore, because you put it all in your big boxes. You got to burn the contents as well.
Ooh, Demystics raises a valid point. What if EVE Online gets mad about EVE coin? Although their coin is ISK, like they've already got a thing. EVE Online war stories are also great reads.
Those are insane.
Everybody. Oh, they're so funny. Every time you buy EVE coins, you have a 10% chance of being an illusionary coin. Only find out when you try to buy something with it. Funny story. So, I believe it's a Wall Street Journal investigation found that up to 20% of all Bitcoin that have ever been minted are lost because folks put it in a wallet and then lost their PIN, making them completely unrecoverable. Unlike, say, if I forgot my PIN for my debit card, then I can just call my bank and be like, hello, my bank, I'm a dumbass. Could you help me? And they'd be like, verify these identification details, and I guess we will, dumbass.
I guess we'll be obligated to.
I guess we'll be obligated to by the law, just in the same way that banks are obligated to stop fraud, unlike Bitcoin exchanges, which are kind of obligated sometimes, most of the time, I guess, to verify the identities of people making exchanges on their exchanges. EVE coin PIN card. Okay. Yeah, you must have both RDI and a UR PIN code. Honestly, hold on, team. I might have something. I do. Here we go. So this guy.
Oh, is it the folder?
No. Huh? No. It is a very special handy-dandy card that you can use to generate secure passwords. I can't remember what it's called or where I found it. Sorry.
Look at this cool thing that I can't identify nor tell you about.
Right, exactly. But it has a top row with characters and a side row with numbers, and I can be like 1 spade to 1 yen symbol, and like that's my password for something, right? And then I just have a physical card that keeps my password, but it's nonsense to anybody who just steals that card. right? Because they need that code. And I can put the code somewhere else, and that's nonsense. Unless they've got my card. And it's the same thing with also another favorite object of mine, which I remember what it is and where to get it. This is my YubiKey, friends. This is a USB manual physical 2FA device that I use for some of my most sensitive accounts. So if I log in, it'll be like, hey, where's your 2FA key? And I'll be like, blop into the USB, and I push the button, and then I'm logged in. Because physical 2FA is secure, and SMS 2FA is vulnerable to SIM swap attacks.
I like it.
And that's your IT security lesson for the evening, everybody.
All right.
If you're a robot, though, you don't need any of this.
Yeah. If you're a robot, you already knew all of this.
Absolutely. But I think next week we're probably returning to RDI. I'll make an announcement on the usual channels. Yeah, right. Now, this Twitch video was sponsored by Slugfest Games, because we don't do ads and we want all of this content and time to ourselves. It's all for us. But I like YubiKeys personally. And if YubiKey wants to send me money or YubiKeys, I will accept them gladly. But we'll see you. Same robot chime, same RDI channel.
Hopefully for less robots.
Hopefully for less robots, unless we play with Otto.
Yes.
Who's a very good boy.
Good boy. Best boy.
And it was great streaming with you. It was great having y'all in the chat.
All right.
And we'll have a good evening and see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.